Now it's Shulk time! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Blade Showcase, and happy to say that we're finally going to look at Shulk, the protagonist from the first game, and he's a really amazing character in his own right. He does such a good job of supporting his team by bringing his vision mechanic. His vision mechanic is just another invincibility cooldown, and thanks to the addition of timers for the super bosses and for challenge mode, you can much more easily keep track of when this cooldown will be in place, and you can kind of just build your playstyle around this, and he's just a very safe character to use overall. So if you quickly look at the blade right now, he has a relatively high auto attack. I believe at S+, he has the highest auto attack stat in the entire game, which is very, very promising. I'm currently running a Tachyon chip for the Monado, and the Monado is going to do the increased critical damage by 25%. This is quite nice because it works very well with his level 2 special, which is one of his most useful specials overall. He has really good specials, but we'll get into that really, really soon. He does come with a 20% ether mod, so in comparison to Fiora's 20% strength mod, and for this video, the trust is going to be S4. Now, in terms of the blade arts that he has, it's accuracy up. Debuff cancel is extremely useful. It's so strange to see that Fiora and Shulk, one is classed as a healer and the other one is classed as an attacker, which is Shulk, but Shulk has some really great defensive blade arts. So you see accuracy up, which is insanely useful, especially if fighting against Revenge of Cloud Sea King Ken. Debuff cancel, and of course, backslash. This is going to be pretty useful overall. He has no trouble keeping aggro off of him. Not to mention that for this video, we are going to be using him on Morag, so here we go. So the first thing I want to point out is his vision mechanic. This is his most useful tool, and this is probably going to be the reason why you're going to be putting him in your party in the first place. You can safely clear out many of the challenges through this mechanic. In fact, the Mark 8 challenge, I believe, is the one where it's borderline impossible. Like, you can still do it without Shulk, but if you have Shulk, it's a cakewalk. So yeah, definitely take that into consideration if you feel like that you've hit a wall. The next one is Monado Enchant. When you have max affinity, just like with Fiora, but instead of increased critical rate, it's going to be increased damage. This is also really, really good because today we're going to be playing around with a blade combo setup, so I hope you guys look forward to that one. And finally, there's Monado Speed, increased accuracy and evasion. This is invaluable, particularly for fights like Cloud Sea King Ken. The thing about Shulk is that he's so good at supporting the rest of his team just by being at max affinity. Then you add the vision mechanic, and you're not going to be hit by too many things. You could easily formulate strategies just around these three passives alone, so they're all really, really good. His three specials are also all useful in their own way, and you just need to use the correct one if it fits the situation. With the Awakening, all you have to do is just use the Monado Purge, and then you're pretty much safe. That's all it is. Once you see the little blue glow around the enemy health bar, just use this, and now you're going to be that much safer. Monado Cyclone, this is my favorite. This is probably my favorite level 2 combo in the entire game because it looks really cool, does a lot of damage, and it hits many, many times. This is great for chain attack builds, but if you find yourself surrounded by a lot of smaller enemies, then yeah, definitely keep this one in mind. Not to mention that by virtue of being an element of light, you can use 2 level 2s and then a level 3, or have a Mythra or Poppi do the level 3 for you, and then yeah, that's gonna be a free light orb. And finally, there is Monado Buster. This is a guard annulling, and it also hits AoE in a straight line. So yeah, just keep that in mind too. If you find yourself surrounded and you see the level 3, just make sure you get yourself into position. It's going to make a huge difference. These are big numbers that it does. It's only one hit, but the damage is still quite decent. Alright, and finally there is the Aux cores that we're using. I'm going to use the level 4. You could also just use special level 2 if you would like. They're both really, really good. It's just the level 4 looks really cool, and that's what I want to be using for this one. Because remember, the thing about Shulk is that he's very good at kind of giving you an additional invincibility cooldown by virtue of his vision mechanic, but if you have this level 4, then that's just one more, so there's plenty of things to do. That's a grand total of I believe, 4. So the 4 invincibility cooldowns that I'm talking about is a level 4 attack, the chain attack, the level 3 blade combo, and then finally it's the vision. So yeah, just really, really good at keeping you guys safe. Blade combo boost, we're going to be playing with blade combos for this entire video right now, so that's exactly why we have this. You could also get the level 6, but unfortunately I don't have the materials for it. It makes a huge difference though. It's a 6% difference, which is very, very nice. So yeah, keep that in mind. And then finally, outdoor attack up 6, because the demonstration will take place in an outdoor arena. Now, before we actually begin, I just want to look at the rest of the team and the accessories that we're using. So for Morag, I've given her the costume just because I love how it looks, so yeah, pain that no minds. I've given her the avant-garde and the burst symbol just because I want to stay alive, and I want to be able to play around with the orbs. Same thing can be said for Rex. Just again, costume, and then the burst symbol avant-garde. For Tora, yeah, just what you would expect, although he already has the built-in crit heal, so instead I've decided to give him the optical headband since we're playing around with chain builds. So yeah, that pretty much does it. Everyone has the exact same belt pouch setup, so it's going to be Astrology made simple for increased special damage, and Chargirl Grumbird for the art recharges. Now, actually, one last thing before we get into the demonstration, I want to look at the weapon that we're using. When you have the Monado on Morag, what makes it so cool is that Blade Masquerade hits multiple times, and you reduce 30% of the aggro upon landing a hit. This is really, really useful, and since it's AoE, then you'll also be able to hit a lot of people. Shulk's wave clear isn't quite as fast as Fiora, but it's still really, really good. Steel Brand for the topple and Echo Edge for the extra topple damage. So this is pretty much the standard shield hammer. For those of you guys that saw the, what's it called, the data mine, this might have been a surprise to you, but yeah, like for whatever reason, Shulk has the shield hammer moveset, but it's just a little bit faster, so yeah, keep that in mind. So anyways, let's go ahead, cut the video, and I'll see you guys at the demonstration. Alrighty, so here we are, the Reinventing the Gogol Challenge. This is a really time-consuming one, but it can be a bit tricky, especially if you underestimate the big bad. But thankfully, since we are using Shulk, clearing the waves is going to be really easy. Essentially, what you want to do is just get yourself smack in the middle of all the action, and then start working away at building up your level 2. Really, really simple to do. He may not have the fast wave clear that Fiora has, although who does? But if you can just play it smartly, if you play it optimally, then you're going to see yourself kind of clearing through these guys really quickly. Not to mention that one of his driver arts has bonus damage to machine-type enemies, so yeah, if you want, you can also switch that out if you're working on Mark 8. I mentioned earlier, but Mark 8 is a lot more difficult if you don't use Shulk, just by virtue of how many powerful attacks that the final boss is going to start spamming at you. But in the meantime, though, we're going to focus on this. Always keep in mind the timer that is on the left side of the screen. The reason why you want to do this is because for every 60 seconds, your vision's going to come off cooldown, and it'll help you play around that safely. Again, if you stall for time with chain attacks and with level 4 combos, then you're going to have a really great time with this. Here we go, get into position, we're smack in the middle of all these Gogols, and here comes this attack. Hitting as many people as we can. Well, let's have Tauros just kind of fight against this while I work away at whoever else. Honestly, just have your your party members just focus down one of the guys that are weak, and then you just immediately start working away at someone with more health. It's a very scattered kind of playstyle, but the thing is, though, is that if you have Shulk, it'll be easier to sort of bring it all together due to the fact that you have a very powerful AoE attack at your disposal. If you have an optical headband, then this will do even more damage, which is great. Yeah, just bonus, all this bonus critical damage is always a good thing. Okay. I think Mythra can just go ahead and finish this one off with a level 3. Not to mention that we're all using the special swords, by the way. If you haven't noticed, we have the Monado, we have the Aegis Sword, and the Variable Saber. All these ones are light elements, so we're actually going to be using the same kind of setup that we had with the Jalapeno Hotties. For those of you guys who don't remember, that is when we had 3 fire elements, and the name of the game was just spamming the blade combos. I already showed you guys my Ox Cores, but essentially, yeah, we're going to be kind of spamming away at these ones. Remember, the thing about Shulk is that he's very, very useful if you can stall for time, and that's exactly what the point of the blade combos are. They're very time-consuming, and all you need to do is just stall for 60 seconds, and you're basically good to go. So got ourselves another topple. I think Mythra's level 3 is an AoE. Pretty sure it is. If not, please no hate mail. But yeah, I know for a fact though that Shulk is a level 4. Scratch and Bark, this warrants a vision. So 237, at 337 it's going to come off cooldown, so keep that in mind for when you decide that it's time to start playing less safe. Because remember, free invincibility, it's so good. I actually tried using Shulk against a Tyranitar Kuradil, the original one, not the new one, the original one, and it was such a cakewalk, and I was really, really excited to see that. Alright, if you could build one orb, I also wanted to mention that if you have the, what's it called? If you have a single orb for a setup, and then you have Mythra go right after Shulk. Both of the level 2s are AoE, extremely useful, particularly for challenge mode, due to the fact that, again, when you have all those damage multipliers mixing with AoE, you're going to have no trouble clearing out these waves. And here comes the Rogal Master. I don't know. It's really difficult to tell with depth perception if you can hit the guys that are in the air. But I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, we'll fight against this one. This one has more health. Here we go. And I believe this is the last one before the big bad. The big bad is just, he's a huge damage sponge. There's not really much else I can say about him. What I will say, though, is the fact that we are using a primarily light element team. However, he has a tendency to become a light element himself, meaning that it's very important that you bring a dark element. Usually, your chain attacks with a single orb setup would take out 1/4 of his HP. But once he gets resistance, though, it makes a huge, huge difference. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? I have an Orb Master on my team. I'm gonna go for a 2-orb setup if I can. So, here we go, level 1 special. And then here comes the Ray of Light. So now when we actually begin the fight, what's gonna go is that we're going to essentially constantly be doing specials through all 3 of our characters. So when I have the attack from Shulk, probably start things off at a level 2, just because I love to have the extra crit damage. Actually, no, I see that he has the blue outline, so just go Purge Awakening. Hopefully, not Shulk, Rex will follow up with the topple. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, we definitely have the vision off cooldown right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and begin things with Shulk. So here we go, Purge Awakening again. I'm gonna let that Ray of Light cool down since we don't have an electric element on our team. So here comes Mythra. And now it's just a matter of using, like, just expending all of the orbs. So yeah, you'd be doing substantially less damage if he has the Dark Resist, and that's gonna happen partway through the actual fight. So here we go again. I think we'll just have all of our light elements continue doing this. Yeah, this would end up being about 1/4 of his health by the time all things are said and done. This guy's just a huge damage sponge, I really have to say. Okay. Oh yeah, and we're gonna get a 3rd round, too. Unfortunately, Poppi QTπ won't get the 3rd round, but that's fine. So here we go. It's just really surreal. Like, I can't wait to show you guys level 4 if you guys haven't seen it already. It's really, really fun. Apparently, it's a very significant part of the first game, and I know I said this many times, but I've never played the first game, but seeing Shulk and Fiora in this game and seeing all the stuff that they're capable of really does make me want to go ahead and try it again. Okay, so there's the chain attack, all finished, and now we're going to go ahead and let Tora do his attack. So here's the thing, at 6:41 we're going to be off cooldown, or maybe 6:42, and hopefully Shulk will switch over to Mythra to give me the second stage, so that I can cap things off at level 4. Remember, like, it's really easy to stall for time if you have all these things in mind, and that's part of what makes this build so potent. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this build to a level 4. Might as well cancel this out too. Here we go. And this should be a full gauge for us. Goodness, this looks so dynamic, it's awesome. So yeah, this is what the Op Core is for, just to increase the damage a little bit more. Unfortunately, he is now a dark element, or sorry, a light element, so he's going to be resistant to all of our light-based attacks. Yeah. I'm going to go for Shulk on this one. We're going to let the light elements work out the first rounds, and then I'm going to let Rex use T-elos, just to give ourselves a little bit more punch. You know what? Yeah, we'll go for Poppi. Give her 2 rounds. So you can see that is quite a bit less damage. And yeah, we might continue going for 2-orb setups instead of single-orb setups. Because yeah, you see over there, now we're going to 5-digit territory. Here we go. Give ourselves more damage. Oh goodness, T-elos is so strong. Like, she's invaluable for this one. That's why I'm so glad she is a really easy blade to get. Difficult to fill out for her affinity chart, but honestly, once you have all this, it's really, really good. So again, I think it'll take maybe 1 more chain attack. And we have plenty of cooldown. Alright, so at 8 minutes, approximately 8 minutes, we're gonna have the next chain attack. So let's go ahead, have Photon, before Rex switches back to T-elos again. And okay, here comes that Venom Cloud. This is a little bit scary. One of the annoying things about this particular boss too is the fact that he also has a tendency to lower the chain gauge. Okay, Rex is dead. Quickly pick him back up. If I do a level 3... Actually, yeah, let's show you guys what level 3 looks like. Actually, no, wait. No, level 4 is going to be more useful. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can build it up in enough time. We have 30 seconds until the next cooldown, so here we go. If you score the excellence, I actually tried playing around with the auto QTE, and unfortunately there's no guarantee that's going to be excellence, if ever, actually. And remember, if you score excellence on your QTEs, then that's going to get you into some more party gauge, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Okay, let's go for another special with the Orb Master, just to make sure that we can close things out. Okay, there we go. Barely missed that Wild Wave. That Wild Wave could have been dangerous, but I think things should be okay. Here we go. Shulk time. And yeah, go Mythra. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to have 3 rounds, but Poppi QTπ won't be activated during the 3rd round. Probably won't matter because we do have really high damage coming this guy's way. So again, go for Shulk. I love his level 2. This is my favorite level 2 in the game right now, just because of how awesome it looks and how useful it is. Alright, yeah, this should close it out, because T-elos is just so strong. Okay, not quite. But Poppi QTπ will definitely be able to clear this out. Here we go. Please. Ah, yes, even with that resist. Like, honestly, if I didn't bring any Dark Elements onto my team, this would be a substantially longer fight. I actually tried this in a previous recording, and I think that fight ended up stretching out to like 15 minutes. It was twice as long, and, you know, we just can't have that. Here we go again. But yeah, that's kind of how the game is. You need to play around with your elemental weaknesses. If you go with a single element for too long, then guys like this will completely mess you up. Alright, so that basically does it. Like, Shulk is just really safe to use overall. Really fun. Like, as long as you're able to play around easily with the cooldowns, whenever you hit a wall, particularly in challenge mode, Shulk is just the key to beating them, just because, again, it's impossible to die as long as you're very smart with your cooldowns, and that can be said with all of Xenoblade Chronicles, and it really just goes to show that the developers know what they're doing when it comes to understanding the flow of battle, and Shulk is the perfect answer to all of that. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the Shulk showcase, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. This guy's a lot of fun, and like I said, I really want to be playing the first game after seeing these guys in the game. It look really awesome. I heard a lot of good things about it. But until then, though, have fun filling out Shulk and Fiora's affinity charts. They're relatively easy to do. A much easier comparison to the previous 2 blades that we had to cover. And honestly, they're well worth the reward for all the time that you put in. Guys, thanks very much for joining me, and I hope to see you guys in the next video for more Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I hope to see you there. Take care, happy farming, see you guys next time.